okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, selectors? Select Screen back at it again. Shout out to RL. Shout out to Historical, DJ, and my man, Wally, in the chat early. Appreciate you guys, man. Woo! Woo! We have been trying to get the stream back up and going, man. Voice mod messed us up last time, but we cannot be stopped, man. We are back. We are back with our spoiler review. Shout out to my man Jacob, who was here last week. If you guys missed all of the fighting game stuff that we did last week, you missed out, man. It's over on our Twitch. Make sure to go check that out. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apple and Spotify podcasts. Definitely go check that out. We are, I believe Historical said, 20 days left? Let's see, 21 days. 21 days until WWE 2K23. It's going to be good. DJ said you missed AEW Dynamite. I caught a little bit of it, but I had to come set up for the stream. Is it March 17th yet? I want my game I bought. And my man's rocking the Boondock shirt. You already know. We're going to get some Boondock sounds in here very, very quickly, man. Probably my favorite anime of all time. I absolutely love it. Another show I really like, though, is this one.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Meeseeks. Glad to have you. So we got some new sounds, man, and yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. We're gonna do an AntMan 3 spoiler review today, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure to like, subscribe. Like I said, it's gonna be good. Let me in. I need to rip this film up. Oh no, RL is upset. My man Ian in the building as well. Let's go. Throw a woo in the chat for my man Ian. Let's go. Yeah, man, we're going to talk about AntMan 3. And it's the spoiler review of AntMan 3. And you'll get what I mean by that in just a minute. All right. Enough talking. Let's get to the real talking. I'm ready. You're ready. Hit that like button, y'all. Let's go. Yeah, man. DJ said RL is never happy. He was, and he's got every right to be critical of what Marvel's been doing, because I think RL has been there, from what I understand, from the beginning. And so let's go through my review of the movie. And then we'll jump into the comments. And then I'm going to open up the Discord, man. And so we'll see how all that goes. Ant-Man 4, Ant-Man versus Superman. Well, let's start off with my thoughts, man. First and foremost, I thought I would like the headphone switch. I don't think I do. I think I like the other headphones better. Nevertheless, what do I think of Ant-Man? Ant-Man 3. Let's start with just Ant-Man in general. I'm one that I like the Ant-Man movies. I feel like they're family-based. Historically, I feel like they're a lot of fun to watch, because it's really a story of a dad and a daughter. And my daughter is my firstborn, so I could really relate to that. And so I've really liked that in the Ant-Man movies.
Perfect.
Now, I know a lot of people feel like they're the weaker movies of all of the Marvel movies. I would say go watch Eternals. I would say go watch Morbius and then watch Ant-Man. Because I'm telling you right now, all three Ant-Man movies are better than Eternals. all three Ant-Man movies are better than Captain Marvel. They're better. They're absolutely better. This movie is Ant-Man 3 is very, very different. It's kicking off Phase 5. It has a lot to do. And my thought about the movie, and Elmo, I can speak for Elmo 172331, Wally, who was with us as well. The movie is not bad. And what the critics are saying is just flat out wrong. It's just flat out wrong. I don't know how else to put it. They're wrong. This movie is probably, well, I've seen a comment that said that this is one of the most comic book movies there is. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's got problems. I think DJ hit it, and I'm going to get to the comments. But there's characters that are missing that there's no explanation for. Right? T.I. is not in the movie. Luis is not in the movie. A lot of people felt MODOK was misused. So let me start with that all being said. Let me start with the things that I didn't like. First and foremost. I did not like that we didn't get answers for that stuff. Like, where was Luis? Is he running the company? It took a simple line to just tell us where they were. Where's T.I. at? Where are those people? We don't get an answer for that. Another thing that was kind of weird to me in the movie is the mom in the movie. It's her story, but it's also Ant-Man's story. And they kind of bounce back and forth. And it's like, who's the main character of this story? Like, is it the original Wasp or is it new Ant-Man? It kind of bounced back and forth. So those things were kind of annoying. And the last thing I would say, really, that kind of annoyed me a little bit about this movie was why Janet doesn't really tell people what's going on. You can tell there's been some writing issues because she's okay with Scott going down into the quantum realm to a certain level, and they kind of try and explain that away later on. And so as we're getting into spoilers here, I want to tell you guys again, spoiler warning. But she's like, you can go down so far, but you can't go all the way deep into where the rest of the civilizations are. But yet she's really scared of Kang. And that's why I called this spoiler review of Kang the Conqueror, basically. Because if you look at this not as an Ant-Man movie, and you look at this as a Kang the Conqueror introduction movie, it's
perfect.
It's really good, man. It's really good. I gave this movie a B, probably a B plus, but a B, because it did something for Ant-Man in the long term. I think Ant-Man's best storylines have actually been outside of his movies. In Civil War, I think he got a lot of character development. I felt like he got a lot of character development in Endgame. Those are kind of my favorite appearances of Ant-Man in the movie. Now, that being said, this movie, again, Scott it's not necessarily his story, but what I enjoyed about it so much is that he grew up a lot in this movie. A lot of Ant-Man 1 and 2, he's like, I'm Scott, that kind of stuff. And in this movie, there are points where Kang has captured his daughter, and he reacts like anybody else would if their daughter was taken. He's mad, he wants her back, and he wants her back now. And so that seriousness, I think, was a really good change for Ant-Man in general. Something else that I really enjoyed is, although we didn't get Luis and we didn't get some of those side characters, I did like some of the other new side characters. I know this is going to sound crazy coming from me. I know what you guys are going to say. How could you like MODOK? Because MODOK is not really MODOK. And I would 100% agree with you. MODOK is not comic accurate at all. But it's also not the same MODOK. Think of it like AntMan, Hank Pym Ant-Man and Scott Lang Ant-Man, right? Two different characters. I feel like that's what they did with MODOK. They needed a way to get MODOK in there. I don't know if they needed it, but nevertheless, they wanted to put MODOK in it every time he was on the screen. Every single time he was on the screen, I was cracking up. And I know there are hardcore MODOK fans that want serious, take you out MODOK, right? He should be, his own Avengers level threat. But the reality is it's a giant face with little arms and little legs. That is not going to work in any universe that Iron Man really is. RL says he wasn't serious enough. It's still Ant-Man. It's still Ant-Man. He's still going to be goofy. He's still going to be, especially outside of the quantum realm. Now, to go to DJ's thought, T.I.'s not in it, I'm not going to go see it. Well, there's kind of a reason. Because they don't spend much time outside of the quantum realm. They're dropped right into the quantum realm. Now, one negative, I know I'm going back, is why they went in, or why they got sucked into the quantum realm. Like, Cassie's messing with stuff that she shouldn't be messing with, which you can say is a kid, but she's also like a teenager. So it really didn't make sense there. Nevertheless, once we get into the quantum realm, and once we get to Kang, let me tell you guys, Jonathan Majors is, if he's not a Hollywood actor, if he is not a Hollywood superstar, Mr. Scorsese, I don't know who is. This guy has played a fighter pilot. He's about to play a boxer, and he's about to take Marvel. He's about to save Marvel. Especially because he's about to save Marvel. I think the best parts of this movie absolutely are Kang the Conqueror. And I agree. I kind of know where RL is going to go with this. I think, just looking at the comments. But the reality of it is this is a Kang movie. And I get why people feel betrayed by that instead of really getting a proper Ant-Man movie. But I went into the movie going, am I going to enjoy it? Is it fun? And is Kang the Conqueror good? Because that's who I'm coming to see. That's my perspective on it. I know a lot of people are looking at it as a film as a whole. As a film as a whole, again, it's not Civil War. I don't think any Ant-Man's ever going to be as good as Winter Soldier, right? It's always going to be Marvel light, if you will. But there are genuinely funny moments in this movie. There are genuinely scary moments in this movie where, there are times, a matter of fact, this screenshot right here, when King comes down and he starts wiping dudes, it's something serious. It is really, really something serious. And I liked that Kang knew he could kill Ant-Man, but instead of just like throwing him up against the wall or something like that, he's like, I'm gonna go toe-to-toe with this dude because he can't fight me. You know what I mean? And so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that much. I felt like this Ant-Man had a lot more action in it compared to the other ones. A lot of them have been like capers and, hey, go steal this stuff. This one is, to me, there was a lot more action, and that's what I need from Marvel films. I need more punching and fighting. We're getting away from a lot of that, and it's getting stale. It's getting stale in some places. So overall, I'm going to go with the B plus because King the Conqueror, I can't wait to see him again. I think the post-credit scene, that was one of the best. I'll go far with this. I'll go this far. I will say that post-credit scene was better than any post-credit scene in Phase 4. On that alone, I feel like I've justified my score. When we get to see all of the Kangs, when we get to see that is a huge moment pulled right out of the comic books. That right there was better than every post-credit scene, including Wakanda Forever. It was better than all of them. And the reason why it was better than all of them is it was just accurate. Hands down. So, let's see. Let me jump back into the comments. Again, I gave it a B+. There's a lot of things that they weren't perfect. But I looked at it. I graded it on an AntMan scale. If that makes sense, I went off an AntMan scale. If we're comparing these to Winter Soldier, Endgame, Infinity War, those kinds of things, no, it does not hold up. Yes, you're going to have a lower score than that. Absolutely, totally agree. But compared to Eternals, Captain Marvel, Multiverse of Madness, at least this time we got what we were promised. We were promised the quantum realm, and guess what we got? We got the quantum realm. I'm going to be positive on this one for sure. All right, let me get into the comments. RL says he wasn't serious enough. Again, okay. MODOK, why did they make him good in the end? He should have only revealed his face once. I'm sure that's contract stuff. That's just like Spider-Man, right? The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies used to drive me crazy. I love them, but Spider-Man's always taken off his mask. And if you know anything about Spider-Man, he does not take his mask off like he took his mask off. So with MODOK, it's a giant uncanny valley face. For me, MODOK, I'm just giving a pass. I'm giving Marvel a pass on this because my big problem with Phase 4 was that nothing was connected. And here is Phase 5 immediately giving me a connection. Maybe it's not an accurate connection. We know MODOK was not Darren Cross, but they made a connection to a movie in the background. They dumbed his powers down. Definitely. I don't. The laser wasn't all that great, but again, he wasn't there. He wasn't there to really be the villain. And again, I understand why people are upset about that. I get it. If the movie was about, let's take Kang out of the movie, right? If you take Kang out of the movie and you made MODOK the villain of this movie and he was that MODOK, I would be upset. Right? I get it. But MODOK's purpose in this really is comedic relief. RL said, I enjoyed the film, but I will only watch it once. It doesn't have any rewatch quality for me. That's what I'm interested to see. Because upon rewatching, I try to go see every Marvel film at least twice. Couldn't do it with Eternals. Couldn't do it. I went to Multiverse of Madness twice. The second time I walked out. I got to see this again because I feel like Thor: Love and Thunder is what a lot of people are comparing this movie to. And it's better. It's just better. The jokes to me, and I got to see it a second time, but I feel like the jokes would land for me better the second time than in Thor. With Thor, I feel like those jokes were just crammed into the thing, and it was like, all right. So watching Thor again, I was like, the jokes aren't funny anymore. But I get your point, RL. I enjoyed the film, but I will only watch it once. Why didn't he just kill him? Why didn't Kang just kill him? This goes to another theory. We're gonna get into theories, but there's a reason. There is a reason why, because this king is not dead. No matter how many times they said he's dead, we didn't see a body. He's not dead. I think what AntMan did is actually freed him. I really do. I think he ended up freeing Kang the Conqueror. And what it's going to do, why this is so important, is he basically got what he wanted, but more so. Because now all the rest of the Kangs think he's dead. So now he has the element of surprise. Arl says, let me in. He's ready. He's ready. Clue says, what's up, Clue? The movie hit Eternals numbers on Rotten Tomatoes, which is bananas to me. You've got the Council of Kings, good enough. On to the final season of Snowfall. That's what's up, man. Yeah. I'm going to talk about theories before we open up the Discord. Again, I think Kang the Conqueror, and that's how we're going to have to start naming these Kangs. The Conqueror, all he did was get out. And he knew what he was doing. If you kill Ant-Man here, he's not going to trap you in that. Because remember how much of importance they spent on that hyperdrive, basically, to propel the motion. Because he knows, right? He's been here, done that before. Think about this. He knows that if he goes through that portal, like, I was going to call her Kate because I'm watching Lost again, the Wasp, if he goes through that portal, people are going to be able to get to him. And the Kang Council, they're going to know that he got out. They're going to find a way to trap him again. This way, Kang the Conqueror, I really think Kang the Conqueror is going to be able to operate from the shadows, even under the watchful eye of the Council of the Kings. That's a big theory. That could be completely wrong, but that's my thought. I think also, yes, they killed MODOK. I think we're probably done with MODOK. Another big thing is I think they're going to spin off the Wasp. She didn't get enough time in this movie, especially because it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. She didn't get enough time. I don't think it was because of her comments off screen and all of that stuff. I think really there was so much more stuff they had to introduce. The little goo monster, who was actually one of the other actors from Ant-Man 2 and Ant-Man 1. And ultimately, she's been wanting to do like a female Avengers kind of thing. And I think that's where we're going with this. I really do. I think she's going to take some time off and go and build her own Avengers. That's my theory. As far as his daughter, I think what was kind of disappointing is that they never called her Stature. I guess they're going to kind of wait for New Avengers to do that. What was interesting to me is they really kind of placed her in this like revolution kind of mode. So is the possibility that she leads the Young Avengers? Because you think Wanda's kids aren't necessarily leaders. Hawkeye, I don't think she's going to be the leader. The new Black Widow, she's going to want to work on her own anyway. I think Stature's going to be the leader of the Young Avengers. If Patriot isn't. We'll see what they do with Patriot. I don't know. I don't think enough people realize that Patriot was in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I don't know if he's going to have enough visibility, if you will. Other theories. I know I've seen theories out there that Ant-Man's going to die in the next, Kang Dynasty and all of that stuff. I don't think so. I think he's going to now play a role like he always does. And he's going to do what Hulk did, when the Kangs start showing up, he's going to be like, guys, I dealt with this. Like, here's what I did. Oops. You know, and we got a hint of that when he talked about it kind of in his mind while he was going by Baskin Robbins. So that's my theories, guys. B+, much higher than Rotten Tomatoes. It's not a bad movie. It's not a good movie. Or I should say it's not a great movie. It's a good movie. You got to think. This is my thinking as well on my grade, is that there's usually a barometer on these things, right? And we've seen Marvel starting to trend down. This movie is kind of like a palate cleanser, right? It's going, all right, we got to kind of right the ship. And I think that's what Ant-Man 3 does. I think that's what the goal really was to right the ship and get some movies going where we can go, cool, this is a good foundational movie. Not a great foundational movie, but it's going to help fix some things in from Phase 4. What's up, Eric? Thanks so much, man. Clue says Iron Lad will be the leader of the Young Avengers. I don't think we're going to get Iron Lad. I really don't. I don't think we're going to get Iron Lad. I think they're going to start out calling Riri Williams something close to Iron Lad. But I don't think the traditional... Because how do you do it? How do you de-age Jonathan Majors into a teenager? I know they've got great special effects, or at least they did. But there's not a... To do Iron Lad correctly, they would have had to cast a way younger actor. And I just don't think that's going to work. I really do. I think Ironheart is going to be Iron Lad. They'll probably, pick and choose things. But I do think he's going to have more to do with the Fantastic Four, for sure. Clue says Scott Lang will be the leader of the West Coast Avengers. He should. Right? He should. Again, because we saw him mature. And I know RL wants him to mature more. I don't necessarily think we're going to really even get an Ant-Man 4. I think it's just our West Coast Avengers are going to be the Young Avengers. You know what I mean? Because if you look, Cassie's out there. Let's see. What was Riri at though? Wasn't she was in like Philly though, wasn't she? I don't know. It's possible. Clue says that's a question I want to ask the kid from Iron Man 2 is Iron Lad. Yes, but no. Clue said it's not even lukewarm for me. And here's what I'm saying is, why would they need 2 Iron Man characters? I think if we would have got an Iron Lad series and we didn't do Riri, then, or, you know what I mean? But because we're getting Ironheart, and let's not forget, we also still have War Machine and Armor Wars, right? That means you would have let's see, Iron Man, War Machine, Iron Lad, and then Ironheart. That's 4 Iron Mans. I think that's a lot. I think that's a little too much. Especially because there's a report out that they're not bringing back Downey. I mean, Riri's already got enough. Because let's put it this way: let's say Ironheart's not good, people are going to be calling for Robert Downey Jr. They're not going to be calling for Iron Lad. They're going to be like, give us Iron Man 4. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But I think to do Iron Lad, now, that's not to say that there couldn't be a Kang that's Iron Lad. I could see that happening, where we get, kind of that wide shot of the Council of Kangs, and there's one like standing there in an Iron Man, an Iron Man suit. I think that could definitely happen. But Lad in his traditional self, I don't know. That kid, who that kid's going to be, if they were to bring it back, I don't know. Because it's almost too late. It's kind of like a Shazam issue, right? We haven't really seen what he was up to since the funeral? And since we haven't, it's not like you can go back and do that or show that, because it's not going to be the same kid. And you can't recast the kid but then go back to the original actor. It's just not going to work. I don't know. That's my thought. I could be completely off. We're a little over 30 minutes here. I wanted to only keep my part to 30. Let's jump into Discord. I think I've got Discord fixed. But we're going to jump back into the lobby here. Catch RL. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about the movie. And let's talk about it. So Discord is officially open. Let me know what you guys think. Man, on a side note, man, it's been freezing here. It's 8 degrees outside. Why?
Hello, Select.
What's up? Oh, before we jump in, I got you. It's good to hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Hello?
I'm here. Let's see. You got me? Hello? I had him there for a second.
We hear each other. How about that?
There we go. Visual's in here. Visual, can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh, man. They cannot hear me in Discord.
Hello?
Let's see. Let me see if I can't...
Visual, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Select, can you hear me? Okay.
I got you. Yeah,
I can hear you.
Select, you can hear me?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I think that...
Okay.
I think that fixed it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, as far as Iron Lad,
Mm-hmm.
what you were saying about him being young, okay, remember in Civil War when Iron Man, he was doing that presentation at MIT and it showed him as a young teenager?
Yeah.
They could do that with Iron Lad.
That's true. The barf technology.
Okay, now I'm gonna go into the movie. The post-credit scene, man, they could have did way better. This race doesn't play in what I'm about to say, but I just didn't understand why they were all barking like apes or like a bunch of frat college guys at a football game. Could you now imagine if they would have had the Council of Kings in the middle of the stadium that they were at, and everybody was quiet, and they discussed what they discussed in front of all the Kings, but everybody was just dead silent, paying attention.
They was barking like M'Baku. Yeah, fire!
they didn't make it serious enough to me. I didn't like that part. And then I'm gonna start from the end.
Yeah.
I didn't like Kang's soldiers. They were weak. You know, I don't want to compare this to Infinity or to Thanos, but if this guy's about to be the next big bad, at that part they didn't do a good job because Thanos only had 3 henchmen and they really.
I just hope they do the leader justice, bro.
Really
Because the
couldn't
leader
do
gonna be in
anything.
the Captain America movie.
Oh, I lost
Yeah,
RL there. What was the end of that?
Okay, Thanos had 3 henchmen.
Yep.
And compared to Kang's army, they were weak. I mean, the army was weak. It should have just been total destruction. It should have been nothing left on that. Whoever was in that battle, there should have been nobody should have won that battle. It just, as far as Kang's weaknesses right there, I didn't like him having any weaknesses. And to go back a little bit more, I didn't understand why the Wasp, when she came, and how what was he trying to get? He was trying to get that, you know, when Ant-Man multiplied.
The Power Cell thing. Yep.
I didn't like. I just didn't like how it took for her to come, for him to figure it out,
Sure.
or for her to save him. I didn't like that part.
She's
Okay.
problematic. Let me go back to I think you bring up a really good point about Kang's foot soldiers, right? They're very, very weak. I mean, ultimately, ants kind of defeat them all, right? It's like, dude, if you were so big and bad, how can a bunch of ants defeat you?
Yes.
I'm going back to this. This guy, go back to what he says earlier in the film, where he actually displays his power. Because you brought up a good point. Why doesn't he just kill Ant-Man? Right. I think it's on purpose. I think the difference between Kang and Thanos is Thanos, yes, he's, eco-terrorist, right? But Thanos is always, it's still about physicality and I'm inevitable and all of this stuff. I don't think Kang is that way. Kang has seen this because earlier in the film he says, "Have I killed you before? Are you the one with the hammer?" All of that is, I think, is a mental game. He knows Ant-Man is an idiot. He knows I'm gonna backwards compliment him. He's doing all those things because he displayed power. But why would Kang go hand to hand? Because he's seen all this stuff happen and he knows to get around. Because remember, he says he's seen the end of all of this, right? But the other Kangs haven't. And I think that's our clue, is that he knows how all this ends. So in order to basically find a blind spot, so if this is Kang the Conqueror, to find the blind spot behind all the rest of the Kangs who banished him, he's got to appear like he's dead. And so you go and you kill Ant-Man and you win in the quantum realm. The Council of Kangs put him there. So they know where he's at. If he's dead, right, and he doesn't show all the power, all of that stuff, the Kangs are like, I didn't get to kill him and all of that stuff. At this point, they got a blind spot now for him to come back and wreck Kang Dynasty.
Okay, that's understood. That's understood. But I still feel like the stakes would have been higher just moving forward if they, he was shooting those blue beams and he was just zapping everybody away.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came to Ant-Man, it bounced off his chest. If they would have killed Ant-Man and the Wasp in this film, that would have just made it it would have had some stakes to it. I would have liked to seen Cassie. Now Cassie deserves this leadership. Because I know you said that she's gonna be she might be the leader, but that would have propelled her even more. She would have had that in the back of her head.
Yeah.
If he just would have just real quick, like out of nowhere, you know, because Thanos. Remember in the beginning of Infinity War, Thanos. That first scene, he made his presence felt.
Mm-hmm.
He snapped Loki's neck. He killed Heimdall. Killed everybody who was on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
Blew the ship up. He made Hulk not come out the film. He made Hulk cave in and scared to come out the whole film in that first 5 minutes. And you remember what he said? Hey, when he had the henchmen, and he was like, "Should we help him? No, let me have my fun."
Mm-hmm.
And he went toe to toe with Hulk, and he just smashed him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't come out at all.
Bro, let me tell you
At
something.
all.
2008 Hulk wouldn't have had that if they had to use that version.
No.
Yeah, I
No,
understand,
you're
but
right.
Thanos is just the way I didn't like it. I mean, I did like the Kang scene when they were in the prison, and all he did was a flick of a finger, and he was tightening up Cassie's body. Then he tightened up Ant-Man's body, and he put him up against the wall.
Yeah.
And then even when he said, "MODOK, do not speak when I speak," I felt that scene. I felt.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope he keeps it like. I hope he keeps this tone. I mean, he kept the serious tone, but I hope he keeps that. How he can show you how, with just two swipes of a finger, how he can make you stop in your tracks, like he did with Janet.
Yes.
Remember when she was about to run and he just did a little flick with his finger?
Yep.
He should have did that. They should have killed off Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it would have been better, and it would have took everybody for a surprise. Everybody. That would have made the film 3 times, 10 times. That would have gave it an 8 to me. Or if they would have killed off Hank and Janet, because I don't feel like there's no reason for them to be in the next couple of films. Or they're probably not going to be in Secret Wars or King Dynasty, because they were never in Infinity War. They never showed up. I mean, they should have showed up in Endgame, but they never showed up.
But they were
as far as just the people in that planet. I did like the part where they had to drink the ooze, so it could be understood. I did like that part. But I didn't like the how quick Ant-Man and Cassie got acclimated to the quantum realm. I didn't like it. I think they should have been a little bit more curious, a little bit more scared. You can tell that I know that film was shot 90% on green screen, but it just wasn't. They didn't have that wow factor. It just wasn't enough to me. I did like the scenes between Janet and Kang. I didn't like that Bill Murray was on. I didn't like it. It wasn't enough. I mean, he was just there to be a voice. It wasn't enough. They were just hinting that they had an affair for whenever she was there, and that was it. The ants. I didn't like how the ants just disappeared, and they all of a sudden got smart. I mean, I know they were already smart, but they got super smart, and they came back. And I don't know how Hank found them, but he found them. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that they ended. They should have ended it in a more serious way. Not at a dinner table with him eating cake and then his face. He just gives a stink face at the end. I didn't like that. That's not the way to end that. It should have ended with Kang saying something or doing something. I didn't like that.
They clearly don't. They don't care about the MCU movies no more. They just throwing the script together. They just throwing the script together.
I feel like all those points are valid, right? And visual, you're right. You're right. 100%. You're 100.
They're only making these movies for the money. That's it.
Yes.
Cash flow. That's all they care about nowadays.
That's why they need to stop making two. That's why they need to cut back just a little bit. They should do two a year, 2 shows, 2 films, so that anticipation builds.
Sure.
We don't need
I feel like they threw us too much during Phase 4.
We don't need a She-Hulk season 2. Nobody gonna ask for that. We don't need that. Cancel it.
None of the shows have tied into the films, really. I mean,
I'm more excited about Loki season 2 because that seems like it's gonna hold up to the last season that we was on. So I'm waiting for Loki season 2 to see what they're gonna do with that. But also, I'm not even sure they're gonna bring back the Daredevil. I don't know yet.
Well, he's getting his
Blade's
own series.
coming. I know Blade is. Blade's coming to the MCU.
I'm scared for Blade though. I'm scared. I'm scared for that. I'm scared also for the Marvels. I'm scared because I've heard that. I don't know if y'all heard, because I watched some of these little plot leaks on. It's not a leak. It's not a spoiler or anything. But they said Captain Marvel is going to be singing for about 4 minutes. I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, come on. Why does she sing? They said there's going to be a music breakdown in the middle of the movie.
They're going to fool around and mess up Monica Rambeau because of all three of them, she's been the best.
Yes.
She was the heart of WandaVision to me. That's what I was probably the most interested in.
Yes.
What was going on with her. But I just know my expectations are low for that one. Although I do really like the poster. There's some things already though I don't like. I don't like where we did all this thing for Miss Marvel to get this costume, and then in the poster and from some leaks, she's not wearing the mask. I'm like,
right.
Didn't we go? We spent a whole season with her about secret identities.
Right.
I just don't understand. I thought that Kevin Feige was going to. That was his whole thing, was that these shows were going to be fully connected. And when you said they don't care, that's my point. It doesn't seem like they're taking the care to map that stuff out. It's a simple thing. There's no reason she shouldn't have her mask on.
Right.
And I get it. It's a little face mask, and like if Dick Grayson, you should know who she is. I get it. But it's a little detail, and that's what made Phase 1 through 3 so good. Yes. Right? It was the little details, the little callbacks. So, I'm not at all disagreeing with you guys on this stuff. I just think that once we get the full picture, I think we'll know more. And it's going to depend on the next film, which I can't agree with both of you enough in that, because it's the Marvels. Right. If the Marvels doesn't tie in, and this is the scary thing about the Marvels, it's got to somehow tie Kang in. It's got to tie Skrulls in. It's got to tie in WandaVision. It's got to tie in Miss Marvel. That's 4 things.
Right.
Those are big loopholes.
And then they're gonna have Captain Marvel singing in the middle. Remember?
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. And you're gonna waste time with that. Those are the things that, when I look at this movie specifically, there are problems. 100%. There's problems. But
I mean,
as a through line, they started and they finished at this point. And that's the bar for me has come down, if you will. And that's what I was kind of saying with the scores, is like, is this Winter Soldier? No. Does that kind of make sense? That's where I'm coming from.
Right. I mean, I did like Kang's. I did like when Kang was with Janet and they were together. I did like how he showed his humanity. Like he didn't have to tell her everything until she touched the memory. But you know what would have been a good part? If they just would have showed like him holding Thor's hammer. They don't have to show. They didn't have to bring the people back in the cameos, but they could have just showed like him just killing Iron Man in a suit, but not showing Iron Man's face. They could have showed Captain America's body face down. They could have showed Thor face down.
Yeah.
Not showing any other faces, but because if he said, I like how he referenced how, oh, have I killed you before? I've killed all the Avengers. I wish they would have shown in that little flashback scene of him actually just doing what he does, killing all those different heroes from the multiverse.
Yes.
That would have been a nice callback. That would have grabbed my attention even more. I mean, I did like Kang. I still love that scene where he just told MODOK,
Yeah.
keep quiet as I'm speaking, and how he just with the flick of a finger, how he just put Ant-Man straight up against the wall,
Yes.
and it was serious. He should have had that. It should have been that easy for him to kill. To me, I feel like it would have been better if he would have killed not Ant-Man and the Wasp, but probably Hank Pym and Janet, because he had motivation to.
You're right. You're right. And what else they could have done is kind of steal a scene from Batman. There's a Joker comic book cover where, you know, like you have the deer mounted on your wall,
Right.
but it's all of like the superheroes and it's Joker on there.
Yes.
That would have been great if Cassie got out and she runs by a room, and in that room is like his trophies of like the hammer,
Yes.
the shield. That would have been enough to go, oh, this dude
Okay,
is.
this guy. Oh, this is serious. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I totally
Because
agree.
I mean, I didn't like how Cassie broke. You know how she wanted to hug her dad before he jumped into whatever to get the secret pearl. How she just broke away from the guard's hands. His soldiers could have been way. I mean, if he's conquered all these multiverses, it should have been. They should have been way. It should have been playing no games, really.
Yeah, and
It
I
should have
think
been-
I think we're being lulled. I really do. Even with the foot soldier guys, right? I just find it weird that he made it a point. He could have got out.
Yeah, he could have got it. Yeah.
He could have got out, and he could have, but no, he had to take all of this army with him.
Right.
And when you brought that up, that was such a good point. And Visual, I want to know what you think about this as well. The foot soldiers, I think it's a distraction, you guys, because I think the real foot soldiers is he's going to end up using all of the Kangs. And I can see this once we get to Kang. What Kang Dynasty is going to be about is the Avengers versus. Really, it's just going to be almost Ultron-esque, where we're just getting Jonathan Majors after Jonathan Majors.
Right. I mean, I have a problem with Ultron being killed off too, but because he's supposed to be more powerful than what they did. I mean, a lot of these characters are supposed to be more powerful than what they really are. I mean, I know they can only embellish so much from the comic, but sometimes they gotta. I'm still pissed off with in-game Hulk. I didn't like that he had to snap, and that was his power move. I didn't like. I wish he would have went toe to toe with Thanos and got his back.
Yes.
And they should have let him, because I mean, it really. If you take some of his power from how he is in the comic, it's really no advantage for Thanos, or even with him and Thor.
Yeah.
It's really no one can really stop them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And see, if they were smart, what they would do is Ultron should be the reason that, or basically the MacGuffin to actually defeat Kang. If you really think about it, this whole thing's about timelines and order, and he's conquering and all this stuff. Ultron should be the key to basically breaking that. Remember how he's talking about how time is in a circle?
Right.
Ultron should be the way that they break that. And I think that would be interesting because we went back and me and my kids were watching, let's see, what is the official name of it? It was the Avengers show, but not the most recent Disney one. It was
Mighty Heroes.
Was it called? I think it was just called Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, they have good plots on there. I do like. I mean, I've seen some of them when I had Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, they have some great plots that they could have taken from.
Yeah.
I mean, that MCU could have taken from that show.
Yes.
And you know, I also want to say this about Captain. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
I also want to say this about Captain America 4. I'm kind of scared for that one because, man, he doesn't have powers, and I just.
The leader?
I don't know, man. I just can't. If they inject him, if he gets the serum, I don't know. I just can't go with him as Captain America. I mean, I like him as Captain America, but just him not having the powers and who he's gonna fight isn't gonna be even. It's gonna be.
The leader, it depends on what they do with him too, because the leader has powers, like mind powers.
Right,
So
and that's going to be easy to break through to Captain America. You can't stop that.
Who else?
But
Isn't
I'm
someone
telling
else
you-
supposed to be in it too? Besides the leader?
I know Harrison Ford, they said Thunderbolt, or Red Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be Red Hulk in that film, but he's supposed to be in it. And then you know what? Even
that they replace an old dude, like you cannot replace an actor that is deceased. I hate when they do that.
no, you can replace a character. Now I think you can replace. Yeah, you don't like that, man?
Not when they deceased, then it hurts my heart. Like the original was the original. Nobody can else capture
Okay, so
the
Superman,
performance of the
so
original actor
so
that
how
played
do you
that
feel
specific
about-
role.
I see what you're
I-
saying,
I-
Visual. I see what you're saying.
How do you feel about Superman?
I gave up on DC a long time ago. That's a Batman versus Superman. That's a
good.
Batman versus Superman. I gave up.
That's true. That's true. But
I think I'm about to give up on Marvel and totally cancel the Gamma because they might not give me my creative freedom that I
Your
want.
film can bring it back. I'm telling you, your film is rated R. It's gonna showcase She-Hulk, the Gray Hulk,
it's
true
different.
power. It's not gonna be dumbed down. It's gonna be authentic.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then me looking at the Logan Paul like moment with him and Ricochet, it got me thinking that maybe I should have something like that. Those type of fights, those type of momentums, those type of moves. You know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, I know he gonna fall in love with it. Absolutely gonna fall in love with it. And in the movie, you know, it's fast paced, but it also tells you a story. It's not like, oh, look at this, and now we're gonna head to this part of the movie and this plot and what's going on over here. No, it's one plot like that, simple.
Right. Hey, why did Cassie call Hank Pym Grandpa? I just didn't get it. I didn't get that part.
I missed that part. I fell asleep. in the theater.
She
Wait,
called
that's
him.
early in the film. How did you? That's at the beginning.
She called him Grandpa.
Yeah, you remember they were sitting at the dinner table. He brought out the pizza.
That's right.
It was after she got
I was
broke
at the
out.
theater
of jail.
late. I missed half of it. I was at the theater. I came to the theater late and I was very tired. I was dozing off.
Oh man. Let's
So,
see.
like, you remember that part?
How would that work? Okay.
She called
Well,
him Grandpa.
technically, he is.
He's not married to He's not married to the Wasp.
No, but from
And
the
we know
pilot.
who her mom is because they showed it on film.
Right. He's like her surrogate grandpa, and part of it, I kind of took that as it was like a slight, like, not like grandpa, but more of like, okay, grandpa, like you're old, That's
I didn't get that from like as if it was. I know what you're saying, as if it was like a little slight, but I didn't. They didn't show his. He didn't give off the facial reaction to be like, okay, yeah, that is a slight. I'm old, and she didn't give that off as, hey, this is a joke. I'm telling it. It felt like it was. She said it serious, like she said it before. That's just me nitpicking though. That's all that is.
But you bring up a good point though, and it's just little details that are falling through the cracks like that, and I think overall the way that you fix this thing again, isn't it Sean Payton? Not Sean Payton. Gosh, Broncos.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed directing this, but you gotta bring the Russos back.
Yeah,
I think that's you got to bring them back, or you really got to lean into what you got. I know. Apparently, when Jacob was here, Ryan Coogler is there's some doubts about him now, but I think ultimately you got to have some more oversight.
All right.
But at the same time, it's got to be good oversight. And I've been very vocal on the channel saying, I love James Gunn. I really do. I think what he's done for both Marvel and DC is really good.
It's about to be a takeover.
I'm nervous about DC, man. I'm very nervous because I think fans can forgive one failed universe because we're getting the Flash. There's some stuff in his new plan that I'm just going, I don't know. And I feel like Feige is letting some of that happen. There are things that, again, there's no reason. We're not having this conversation about Ant-Man if Phase 4 was better.
Right.
If Phase 4 was more connected. Shoot, who was I talking to? I was actually talking to some guys at work. Why wasn't Kang introduced in Multiverse of Madness?
Yes.
He should have been in that movie, even as the post-credit scene. Just a post-credit. If it was that exact scene of the shield coming over his face, that's all we needed. And so,
and that would have been the best. That would have been the best.
Yeah.
If they just would have did that, like how they did Thanos in what was it, Avengers?
Yep.
That would have been the best. Yeah, that would have.
Yeah.
What y'all think the post credits for the Gamma should be?
Yeah, I can't even answer that.
It depends on how you end the movie. Knowing the little bit that I do of the film, I think a good post-credit scene for your film, The Gamma, would literally be her hulking out again, and she starts out like it's her shoe, right? Her shoe breaks, turns gray, and it's just her foot. Turns gray, which we've seen gray She-Hulk through the whole movie, and then it turns green, and then you in the film there. That would be wicked, bro. I know I would be like, yo, because then you're not boxing yourself in for the Gamma 2, right? You can go anywhere. The only thing that you've put on yourself at that point is that now she's going to be green.
Okay, I got one more thing about Captain Marvel because I'm on Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay, they said that film has been done since Wakanda Forever and since before Ant-Man. But they've been doing reshoots the whole time. They've been doing reshoots the whole time since basically last year.
Now every film gets reshoots.
Film has been done.
Every film gets reshoots, and they do get about 6 months of reshoots after, right? For pickups for, oh man, that doesn't necessarily make sense.
Oh man.
But worries me about that movie is that more than anything, and to your point, and the same thing with Blade, is we have not seen anything from it.
They're keeping it on a low profile.
Right. There's no
But remember,
reason.
in Infinity War, they shot like whole different scenes just to throw leakers, spoilers, all that off
Yep.
from what was actually going for Endgame and Infinity War.
Yep.
There's no security. Whoever is in there's no more security as far as how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
If something, someone either they're working like they said, whatever they said, the CG guys to death, the CGI, whoever doing the effects to death, like they said, I think last year or whenever they said it, or someone just doesn't like Feige, and they're trying to push him out.
Maybe.
Because there's no reason for there to be so many leaks as far as, because you can go on Reddit and you can go on YouTube and type in some of these plot leaks. Because you can see the plot leak for the original Blade, like I was telling y'all before. They only had 3 action scenes in Blade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had a dancing scene in there as well.
Oh boy.
Well, Blade. Oh
No,
my
I'm just
God.
playing.
They better do it justice.
I'm just playing.
Oh.
They better do it justice. Come
Oh.
on.
Oh.
Where's
Well,
the
we had a dancing scene in Blade, that would've been cool.
This remake hit? If this remake hit, oh yeah, we in it. We in it. We in it, boys.
For sure. Well, gentlemen,
But I might think I'm thinking about that idea. I might think on that
Yeah.
idea, that post-credit scene. You know, but it might not work. It might work. We'll see.
Yeah.
But also the way she first, like, I ain't gonna spoil it. I ain't gonna give nothing away. But the way She-Hulk in this movie is first introduced is gonna be a cheering moment. I know it is. Because when you see it for the first time, it is, it's something. And then I told one of my other friends yesterday I was working on this, and they said, "Wait, is she gonna be like she gonna look like a video game?" I said, "Bro, you'll see, you'll see."
Well, we've already got some concept art on the Discord, man.
You know what I have heard? I heard Secret Invasion is going to be probably the best out of either next year.
I don't know. The trailers that I saw it's kind of bland.
That was a serious trailer. That was a serious. It felt like kind of had the Winter Soldier vibe.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
I mean, as far as the seriousness, that's not comparing it to Winter Soldier, but that.
Speaking of getting leaked, bro, y'all seen? Well, I don't think Select saw it because I put it in the group chat. But bro, I think it's confirmed, Select, because they teased. I forgot what was it. It was a WWE 2K23 Showdown 2 Part 2, right?
Yeah.
And they teased the Bray Wyatt, like their little Bray Wyatt logo, his new logo. So we probably gonna get Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt, and etc. So that DLC that was leaked, that is real. It confirmed that.
Yep.
Bro, we about to get Great Khali, Carlito, bro. They should add the Punjabi prison as a match, bro.
That'd be crazy. That would be
We
crazy.
can recreate the Big Show versus Undertaker. I can recreate that because they fought in that.
I need to hurry up and get my pre-order in.
You
I think
still
the
haven't
best
pre-ordered
film-
it?
Not yet. Not yet. The way my checking and my savings is set up. Go ahead, Aro. I cut you off. Sorry about that.
I feel you on that. But I was gonna say the best film of the year that's gonna be of this year is gonna be Mission Impossible, because no actor is doing what Tom Cruise is gonna do.
You bring it back. Okay, you bring back memories.
I need to get caught up.
I don't know if y'all seen that little trailer of him just jumping off the cliff with him, like, no special effects, just him jumping, riding a motorcycle off the cliff and skydiving.
Yep.
Bro, Tom Cruise is gonna be an old man still doing his stunts. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah.
Let's just be honest. 80 years old, still doing his stunts.
He owned last year as far as he knew what he was doing with Top Gun.
Yeah.
It just
He knew what he was doing with the remake of War of the Worlds. That movie was my favorite.
That was
The
a
Tripod?
good movie too. That was a great movie. But I'm gonna throw one more at you. that I think is going to be neck and neck with that movie.
What's that?
I think Spider-Verse. I think
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Verse is going to be
That's-
dope, man.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
I think, and the only reason I say it's going to rival it is when you factor in the kid sales.
Right.
I think kids are going to go see that movie like crazy. I don't know if it'll beat it though, because the Tom Cruise effect is crazy.
Right.
But I have a feeling, even if it's not as good as the first
It'll
one,
be the best Marvel film of this year.
It'll probably be the best Marvel film, I think. And I think it will. It's going to do numbers, and it's going to be unfortunate and fortunate at the same time, because that movie in itself should be amazing. I think we're going to leave on a real good cliffhanger, but it's only going to inspire Sony to keep throwing out all this extra Madam Web and all of this stuff that we don't need. You know, we'll get a sequel to Morbius and
You better not get no sequel to Morbius.
Oh,
That
no.
movie-
Oh, no, we're
that's
definitely
bad,
getting
bad
it.
reviews.
They're gonna put it out there.
Right.
They are.
If
I
they
know
make
they
a
are. Yes.
sequel, people are gonna go out to hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Go see it. Only
But
to
they're
hate
still
it.
gonna go out though. That's the one thing about that stuff.
I don't understand that, bro. Why do critics blow all their money just to talk bad about a movie on YouTube? Why would you blow your money to go see a movie that actually is good in some people's eyes, but in your eyes it's crap? I don't understand. What?
I don't either.
How?
And that's my thing, is that's why you'll see a lot of my reviews are mostly positive, because I try to give bright spots.
You do give your honest opinion, so like, come on now.
I try to give yeah, absolutely, but I try to, because at the end of the day, these things are entertainment, right? They're things that, we use our hard-earned cash to go see these things, and at the same time, we have a right to voice our opinions, and not like things, absolutely. But as a reviewer, I feel like there's so much to Visual's point. There's so much out there saying this movie sucks, that movie sucks. It's like, do critics even like movies? Like, why are you doing this if you're not
They
watching
was
stuff
put
that
on
you
this
like?
earth to hate movies. Let's just be honest here.
That's what I'm saying.
To me, I feel like the film game has just changed. It's had a significant drop off.
Yeah.
You know how I asked you to look at that Strays trailer, and how we talked about comedy, how it's just. I asked you to look at that because I thought that was gonna be that's the last comedy film that I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, the early 2000
I mean,
movies,
as far as
like,
just the
we go
trailer.
back to this, those movies were really hitting. Like, it was badly in the critics, badly. Everybody loved it. But
Right.
nowadays, it's I don't like that because that scene wasn't good, or I don't like that because the CGI looked fake. It's like, bro, it's for entertainment. Stop picking everything out
Right.
that you hate.
Right. And RL, to your point, I think you brought up one time, and this kind of validates Visual, yours as well, is like, when's the last time we had a straight up comedy? And then we got like House Party, and I was like,
No,
that ain't it. That's not what I was asking for.
no.
I think my boy DC Young Fly.
Yeah. And I still I need to go watch it anyway, and I will. But man, hell, you know what I'm saying?
even drama, romance films. I mean, when there's not one that stands out
Yeah.
as far as just in the last couple of years.
And that's why we need the gamma. That's why, don't quit, man. Do not quit, Visual. Do not quit.
Y'all need it. That's something I didn't expect to hear. Y'all need it.
I seriously, man, I believe in you. I really do. I think
Oh yeah.
even if that ends up being, you go and you end up shooting that film and you put it as a YouTube short, you never know. You never know what can happen. You never know. Eventually, we get a full reboot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they may see that online and go, "We gotta hire this dude." You know what I'm saying? So definitely don't give up on your dreams.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm writing an essay. I'm working on an essay to write to Kevin Feige himself personally, so I can send it by email. I want him to read it.
I love it. I love it.
No, don't send it to him. Do not send it to him.
Because he might steal it.
Don't take it. Don't put it. You know what? This is good. He'll create it. He'll chop out whatever he wants from it. Because I feel like that's what he's doing, or I don't know who's doing it, but I feel like that's what's going on with some of these films. If they're doing reshoots, if they're not trusting the director.
If I'm gonna be a director, I need my creative freedom. My mind runs wild off of great ideas, and that's what make I feel like that's what's gonna make my motion pictures, like my craft, so special. Because I put all my heart, soul, and desire into something that is, meant to leave a mark of my name on the map.
Yep.
So.
And that's I'll give you a perfect example of that actually working. It didn't work out exactly the way I wanted it to, but I'm gonna butcher his name, Kevin Takashian. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he did the Mortal Kombat short years and years ago. It's probably 10, 15 years ago, when Mortal Kombat had done Mortal Kombat 2, 25 years ago or whatever it was. He made a realistic Mortal Kombat short. Let me pull it up real quick. I want this to inspire you, visual. Let's see, to show you what you can do. That Avengers I was thinking of was Earth's Mightiest Heroes is the one.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. Let's see. Mortal Kombat short.
Select. I'm also not ready for Young Avengers. I'm not ready for them.
They're pushing it too hard, right? They're pushing it way too hard.
I don't feel like. I mean, I don't know if they're I don't feel like it's being pushed. For me, I don't get it from. I mean, I don't see it from when they're in the film. I just don't see it. I don't know if it is or if it isn't officially been pushed as far as that these might be the Young Avengers, but.
And not to mention also, Ariel, I'm also writing out my first screenplay to my first movie I'm gonna make, which is End of Days. I'm working on that right now.
About that. But seriously, visual, go watch this. It's called Mortal Kombat Rebirth, short movie, and I can't say his name, but it's
the dude that played Black Dynamite. I'm looking right at the thumbnail.
Yes, he got these folks to do this, and honestly, it ended up he was going to direct the new Mortal Kombat movie, and some things happened and probably creative freedom. But he basically spurred, the reboot to redo it. This short is fantastic. It's probably better than the Mortal Kombat movie. It's so good. Go check that out. And I can see the Gamma doing something like this, where you do something really creative, man, and it blows up, and they may come to you and say, hey, man, we want you. Maybe it's not She-Hulk. Maybe they have you direct the next Hulk movie, and I don't know. I'm just saying, go for it, man. Never ever quit. Never ever. I don't care who tells you what. If you send it to Feige,
to do like a Hulk movie, I'm down for it. But Kevin Feige, I don't know. I feel like I should trust him since he's the president of Marvel, because I feel like it's not even him doing that to the MCU. It's somebody else. I don't know who. It's somebody like in head office of the MCU.
Hey, they got it.
Since they changed the CEOs, I forgot from the last guy to the new guy. They just been pushing out products, and because we're all gonna go see these films, so now they can push them out at mass. And now with Disney Plus, they're pushing out the shows. They got Disney, they got Fox.
Star Wars.
So,
Star Wars is suffering for it too.
They got,
for sure.
So you see what they're doing. I mean, they're not taking their time with any of the products.
They killed it on the Obi-Wan series. Oh boy, they got my boy Darth Vader looking menacing, bro. He didn't pull it up. He want to smoke with Obi-Wan. What's up?
I thought that was probably the best thing they put on Disney Plus. for as far as Star
Man.
Wars. Ooh, that's
Then they had a flashback. They had a flashback with young Padawan Anakin, bro.
yes. Now the real test of that is going to be what they do with the Mandarin, the Mandalorian, the Mandarin, the Mandalorian. Season 3's coming up. If Mandalorian season 3 is dope, I think we'll be okay. But
So they got some other future movies that coming out. I think next year. Anaconda. They're making a remake of Anaconda with Ice Cube. And rumor has it Ice Cube is gonna be in it.
oh,
He's gonna be
boy.
much older.
Selling big 3 t-shirts, right?
Bro, let me tell you something. They remaking one of my favorite movies of all time. They better do it justice.
That's
and
right.
not to mention, we getting a God of War movie starring Jason Momoa as Kratos. What?
Well, going to Amazon, man. That better be dope. But fellas, I better wrap up, man. I got to get some dinner. I have not eaten dinner at all. I appreciate y'all. Like, y'all don't even know. And I appreciate both of y'all keeping it real with me, man, on these. It's such good convo, man, and it really brings
One more thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Quantummania, what happened to time? What happened? How did they just get out? It feels like they got out like a week ago.
New rock stars broke it down, and it really makes a lot of sense. It's all kind of set up in the second film, or excuse me, no, it is the second film. She says, make sure that you don't fall into a time vortex.
Oh.
And what happened is, how did they explain it? I don't want to mess the theory up, but one of the things happened to either Scott or her, and the opposite didn't. So I think, if I understand it right, she fell into one. He didn't. Because if you look at the same thing with the ants, right? How did the ants evolve and move so fast? They fell into one of these time vortexes. Everything sped up for them, but they were still in the quantum realm. So they fell into a vortex within the quantum realm, got out into the larger quantum realm. New Rockstars, actually, it made a lot of sense. Because in theory, when they all came out, they should have been way older. And you're right. You're right. But they break it down, and it does make sense. The time vortexes can either speed up, and I guess I'm assuming slow down time. Because the other thing that's not consistent, and this is a great point, RL, is when he fell into, or when he was trapped in the quantum realm, right, and they got dusted, it was only 5 years. But for her, she was in there, and it had to be 15 because Hope grew up. So I think that's what happened. It's a cheesy way of doing it instead of showing us. But there's a little bit of explanation for that one. So.
Okay.
I know. But should you have to go to New Rockstars to go find that out? I get what you're saying, RL. I really do. I really do. It makes sense. It makes sense that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic Four. I hope they do. I hope they get that.
There's
that
a lot
worked out.
riding there.
X-Men. Yeah. Even with X-Men.
That's another one I'm worried about. And I know I said I had to go, but my goodness, can you just make it? Like,
Right. Yeah. That's
what are we waiting on at this point?
right.
Just give us the X-Men. Like, I don't know. Anyway, bro, I'm gonna jump off here.
All right, man.
Grab something to eat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on. Have a good one, man.
Definitely. Man, let me tell you guys, the core selectors here, man, I love it. I love that we can have honest conversation. I love that they can tell me, Select, you're not thinking about this. You're not thinking about that. What about this? What about that? I love it. That's good and civil. I want you guys to notice that, trolls that are watching this video. Civil, good conversation. I love it. I'm I'm definitely going to go see Ant-Man again, and maybe we change the score. I don't know, with all the things that we talked about. But right now, I'm going to stick with my B+. Clue, I want to answer this comment that he put before he left. He said, the question I was going to ask, how are we going to explain Nathan Richards was Kang, and Iron Lad was the kid from Iron Man 2 and the Avengers Endgame? I went there. I don't totally... That's what... Oh, okay, I see what he's saying. How do you explain Nathan Richards being Kang, but then Iron Lad is not? I really think that... This goes back to my other crazy theory. My crazy theory is that there's no coincidence that I picked this. I really do think that Jonathan Majors is going to be Mr. Fantastic. I think so. I think one of his variants is going to be Mr. Fantastic. We'll see. We'll see. I want to say thank you to each and everyone who came by the stream today. Definitely shout out to my wife for letting me do this when I'm sure she wanted to hang out and have some dinner. So appreciate you, selectors, so much. Make sure to like, sub, and subscribe to the channel, man. Be kind to one another. And remember to choose your destiny. My name's Select Screen, and I'm out.